Yep. As soon as you click that.
I did, and so we
Oh,
must be
okay.
live now.
Hi, I'm Michael from
Okay.
TurtleHerding.com.
And we're a little screwed up because we're testing right now. I'm David from OutsideOurBubble.com.
And together we're outside our
Outside our turtle herding bubble.com.
TurtleHerdingBubble.com.
Yeah, we practiced. We tried.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, this is all, guys. I know for those of you uh, who normally join Brendan and I, this is my friend Michael, and we
This
are
is my
actually
my
over
friend
here.
David.
Yeah, right there. That's him. I have to get used to this 180-degree reverse, and we're testing right now, just so you know. Um, and uh, I have no idea if this is actually working or
It
not at this
is.
point. It
It
is.
is. Yes.
Okay. Because I see one person, it looks like Robert Rodriguez says hello. I don't see anybody else chatting, so it doesn't look like
Oh,
anybody else is
Mike Thomas
online.
just said hi.
Oh, okay. So it is working.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
Mike.
um, it's really, really weird. Now, just so you know, we're just doing this as a test because we want to maybe bring you two perspectives in the future uh, of RVing. And
Yeah.
we're both techies. And as you know, you've seen us before in the past together. Uh, and any case, this is a test of the video broadcast system. This is only a
Yes. Not
test.
the emergency broadcast system. Don't confuse
No,
the
no,
two.
don't be confused by the two. That's correct. The
Yeah.
RV emergency broadcast system is a totally different thing. We're
Yep.
working on that project.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to me.
I'm not buying any more domains, David.
No. Outside our turtleherdingbubble.com, which is
Right.
an actual domain, by the way,
Yep.
which leads to evforrv.org or .net, excuse me.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, one of those things. So we're just testing, and we're open to any questions you might have.
Yeah.
Um,
So we're just screwing
so
around, taking questions from the audience, doing this technical preview to make sure that everything's working end to end. We've already been we've been working on this together for way too long, at least two
oh my
hours
god,
this morning.
at least 2 hours. No, this started about 11 a.m. my time, which is now 3:30 my time.
Okay. So
Um,
maybe more than 2 hours.
so we
Yeah, we're
really
in
hope
different
it's
parks.
working.
Let's see. We do have some chats. So Robert Rodriguez says hi again. He's here. RV Chronicles says hi. My
Okay.
lovely wife, Lynn says, I'm watching too. And we have Mike Thomas who says, hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Good to see Mike. Uh, okay, so to the more serious questions, first off, Robert asks, are we in two different parks? Yes. Not only in
Yes,
two
this
different
is fun.
parks, but in two different time zones and two different parts of the country. I'm in Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
and I'm in Byron, New York. So this is a big test. We're actually
Yeah.
simultaneously streaming across the nation, literally, um, all wireless. And basically, I'm being transmitting my video to Michael, who's then rebroadcasting this via YouTube on our channel.
Yep. So, yeah. And what platform are we testing on? So, we have YouTube, of course, which is what you're watching us on right now. And then David to me, we're connecting over Google Duo. And then I'm pulling that in using an open source free broadcasting software called OBS Studio. So for those that want to really geek out, and the thing that we had issues with was getting David's audio into OBS, and what I ended up doing was, this is way geeky. So
Geeky.
I have David's audio from the Duo window going into or out of my monitor, which I have plugged in via headphone cable to the line input on my computer, and then I'm using that in OBS, and then have that in monitor mode so I can hear David. So now finally we have the audio working, and because I'm using wireless headphones, we don't have David echoing, which is
I don't.
the
Yeah,
other problem
it
we were
used to be.
having.
Used to be.
Right? Yeah, it was
Stuff like that.
really fun. That was good. That sounded really good on mine. I was like, oh crap, what'd I do?
So yeah, I did a really good demo there.
Yep.
But yeah, we're in two different time zones entirely. He's in Las Vegas. I'm in Byron, New York. But the interesting thing enough about this is our current outside temperature is 85 degrees, but it feels like because of the humidity, which is 81%, it feels like it's 97 degrees out right now. And Michael being in Las Vegas,
Yeah, so my temperature is 98.6 degrees. with 32% humidity, which makes it feel like 98.6. So we're really pretty close together as far as what the outside feels like.
Even
I
though we're
just,
on different sides of the country.
yeah. The only big difference is when I go outside and sweat, it actually helps cool me off. Where it's just like soup where you are. So,
Yeah, if I walk outside, it hits me like a wave of water.
yep.
So yeah,
So we got a hello from Greensboro.
this is
We
a
have,
whole test of a new thing that we want to try that we're looking to do in the future, where because we're both heavy techies and heavy RV techies, that we want to try to answer questions and bring you segments together, and maybe incorporate some other people into this video, in regards to not only just doing the chat sessions to do live feedback, but also actually having in the future callers and things like that. And just again, 100% tech kind of view or RV related. It's not going to be off the wall. Like we're not going to talk about Starlink until we actually have it. But
and you're allowed to talk about it.
and we're allowed to talk about it. That's right. But actually, there are some questions out there right now, other than the platform. It looks like, which is good. It's glad that we have a few people testing this with us, and we hope this is coming through okay. Once again, I'm broadcasting from Southwoods RV Resort, going across Wi-Fi, then going through the park, all the way to Michael in Las Vegas, who is then taking this video feed and rebroadcasting it to YouTube through our channel.
Yep. And I'm in Las Vegas. It is very hot. But I actually have a gigabit network connection via cable modem, but only 35 megabit up is what I'm rated at. I get a little less than that. But overall, this seems to be handling the stream pretty well. We do have some feedback. Quality and audio is great from Robert.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
I did see a question in there, Michael, that says, "What's our next project together?" And that's a good question, because we actually do have one that we've already done that we're going to bring to you and talk about. That'll actually be our first official broadcast.
Yeah. So I'll give you a hint. It has to do with water.
That's a big hint.
That's a big hint. Yes, it has to do with water.
Not really a big hint. It's a small hint.
Okay.
But it's a hint. It's a hint nonetheless, right?
So let's see. There's software patch cables audio available for audio. Yeah, Mike, I'm actually running in Linux, and so the audio internal routing capability is a little different depending on Mac or Windows or Linux. I could probably have accomplished this in software, and I tried a few different things, but this old school just patching one plug to another seems to be working out really well.
And Mike, to answer your question, it's OBS and actually Google Duo that we're currently using to broadcast each other.
So we got Kevin says, thanks, David, for the tip on the hidden Ethernet port in the WineGuard. Just upgraded to the PepWave Max Transit Duo, and he's bonding the WineGuard as a third modem or Wi-Fi. Very nice.
Perfect. That's very nice.
Yeah.
That's great, because that's a good purpose use, because you're not actually adding an extra hop, or the radio only has to talk to the park itself and doesn't have to talk to all of your other devices. So feeding that Ethernet port into another router for broadcast is actually the best way you can actually go, bandwidth wise.
So Kevin Lyon says he professionally live streams, and he says OBS is a great open source platform. If you're on a Mac, take a look at Ecamm Live. Gives you a lot of capability, and you can have up to 5 guests. Very cool.
Oh, Michael, there you go. Ecamm Live. Let's write that one down.
Yeah, except I don't have a Mac. I'd have to go buy a Mac.
Oh, shoot. I do. That's right. You're Linux.
Yes.
Ecamm Live.
Yep.
See, the problem is Michael has the bandwidth for outgoing. I don't. So my feed going to Michael is good. My feed coming that I would have to receive from Michael and then retake that and resend that out, it might not be as good. I'm also going to be changing my camera here right now. I'm on a 720p camera directly from my Mac, and I'm going to be changing my camera to a 1080p camera to match Michael's. So I might be a little softer to you, and that's not because of the broadcast from me to Michael. That's because of the camera resolution.
Yep. So we have some more feedback here.
What do we got?
Mike's audio is really good, says Jeffrey Dickinson. Thank you. I have invested heavily in my audio. We'll
Yeah,
just
yeah,
leave it at
just
that.
a little, Mike. We'll just leave it at that. Just a little bit heavily.
This is the same microphone that let me think. So Michael Jackson used it to record Thriller, not this physical version, but this model. Lots of broadcasters use it. Lots of audio professionals use it, and it seems to do well with my voice, I think.
For whatever reason, he needs to look professional. I don't know. I don't get it. I just, I do have a large microphone also, though. So I will just kind of like show off a little bit. Now, here we go. Oh, there we go. So now you can't see me or anything, but I do have a large microphone in front of my face, unlike Michael.
David does not have microphone envy.
I do not. I have a very large microphone. I have a blue Yeti microphone. Even though it's silver, it's a blue Yeti microphone.
Yeah, and this is your Shure SM7B. In case
I just don't have it in front of my mouth like this.
Well, so the Shure SM7B is an end fire microphone, so I have to talk into it from the top, not from the side like the Yeti. And it has a really good drop off around the side, so you probably can hear a little bit of my background noise, but not too much. Being in an RV in the desert with all the air conditioners running and fans blowing, it can get really noisy. So I wanted an audio setup that
rivals me, basically. Mr. Michael, who doesn't do many of these, doesn't do live streaming for the most part, except for when they travel. You can't use that microphone,
I could use that lapel mic that I have as well, the lavalier. But
it's true that digital lapel mic is actually a very good microphone.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, there was something else I was going to bring up.
Was he trying to say that my audio sucks compared to yours? Is that what he was trying to say?
No, I don't think so. I think he was just complimenting me.
Oh. You should have heard his voice earlier.
I did have a Blue Yeti. I had a Blue Yeti, and I used it, and it worked out really well, but it died. Like, I was scheduled to be on a podcast with someone, and I told him, "Oh yeah, I've got a Blue Yeti. We're all good. My audio quality is going to be good." And literally the next day, I was on a call with a customer, and it went to crap, and it sounded. It was I don't even remember. It was very digital, very harsh, and so I ended up having to order all this gear to be ready for that podcast in a quick turnaround, and then I still haven't been on that podcast. They delayed. Yeah, they delayed it. So I have used it in other stuff, and I do use it on calls with customers and stuff, and it works really well. I'm very authoritative when I'm talking to customers, I guess.
That's because you have such a big microphone.
Right. Yes. That's, yeah.
Hey, we didn't say we had a complete conversation going on here in regards to, RV lifestyle or anything. We just said we were testing, and it's what it says in the description, remote stream. We're testing a remote stream. So what else we got going on in the chat session there?
So we have a mention of NDI from Mike Thomas, and yes, that is something that we were looking at this morning as well. I haven't. Evidently, there is an NDI capable platform in Linux, but I just haven't messed with it at all yet. So that may be something we research for the future. But right now, the physical patch, it seems to be working okay, I think.
Yeah, once again, you got to remember, this is kind of cool that we're able to do this. I mean, it's amazing that we're able to do this at all. I'm in Byron, New York, upstate New York, and he's in Las Vegas, and we're bringing this live stream to you right now from two separate parts of the country, remote, and we're doing this as seamlessly as possible. I mean, it actually looks pretty good. Yeah,
and I think there's no real latency between our pickups as well, so like if I'm talking to David and David starts talking, there's no huge lag or latency or anything. So
the only thing I really messed up is I forgot to push go live.
Yeah, so we did a whole intro that was way better than the one that actually went out. That David, because David hadn't clicked the go live.
I forgot. Hey, usually when Brent and I do it, we're using the Mevo live streaming camera, and when we go live with the Mevo, it automatically tells YouTube start the stream.
Yeah.
So I figured
there's a setting for that.
Started the stream, I figured it would work. But
Yep.
we were talking, and he's like, "Oh, Dave, you didn't push go live." I'm like, "Oh crap, you're right." And so I had to go back to the studio, push go live, and now I see an end stream button, which I will not push right now.
Not yet.
And and here we are. So yeah, so a little learning curve. So thanks for joining us, anyways. We do
So
appreciate it. We wanted to do this
yeah,
because we've been working on it all day long, and we figured, hey, now that we got it working, let's
let's try
go
it.
on.
Yeah, let's make it happen. Um,
What else we got
so
out
we
there?
have another question here from Arnie. This one sounds interesting. He has a 2014 Tiffin. The hub for his satellite and TV breaks up when using the DVD transmitter to other TVs, thinking the hubs cannot transmit HD. Your thoughts, suggestions? Okay, I have a theory. I suspect there might be a wireless transmitter that he's using. And Arnie, you can correct me if I'm wrong here. If you're using wireless transmitters and you have multiple transmitters, it's highly likely that they're using the same frequency. And so if you have two of them running at the same time, it likely won't work well because there's going to be too much interference. That's just a guess. I'd need more
Without
details to know
knowing
for
the
sure.
setup. Tiffin, for example, my Tiffin came with these HDMI over Ethernet adapters, which again have their own issues in particular. And like Michael, we both totally replaced our audio video
Yep.
distribution systems altogether because the ones that come with the Tiffins, quite literally from Triple H, just suck. I mean,
Yep.
sorry,
They
there's no
do.
other way to say it. Sorry, Tiffin. Uh, there's just all types of issues with those things over time. They burn up and what have you. And it's one of the first things that we ended up doing in our coaches is replacing the distribution system to use matrix HDMI, a matrix switch, excuse me,
Mhm.
which still broadcasts over HDMI, HDMI over Ethernet and converts back, but we could do it at 4K.
Yeah, sorry, we're getting feedback. We got someone saying that I need to be warmer and you need to be cooler. So let me see.
Are you talking color wise
Yeah, I
or
think so.
audio
So
wise?
I just changed my color temperature on my light, so we'll see if that helps.
I
Um,
don't have such settings except if
that's
I
Craig.
turn off the light.
Yeah, Craig Jacobson said gave that feedback. So let us know, Craig. Did my color get better? David's really warm on his
I
color. It looks
reflect.
like.
I'm, the bald head does a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're more red. I'm more yellowish, and that could be because of the camera.
yeah, it could be. The RV lighting is really harsh as well in general.
True.
So, um, let's see. Oh, so Arnie asked his thoughts exactly on that issue and what is a better replacement. Um, so, yeah, as Mike just said in chat, wireless transmitters will be susceptible to interference. And if you have two of them that are the same model, they're going to be broadcasting on very similar frequencies and have potentially a lot of problems. Um, so, what we okay, so we both took initially the same approach, and then I changed approaches. But so if you want to stay with the ability to have a central video source and be able to pick and choose between that at remote stations or remote systems, what David mentioned and what I'd started off with is actually the best option. It's called an HDMI matrix, and you can get 4x4 or 4x2 or 8x4, 8x8. It just depends on how many systems you want to, how many inputs
For
you
the
want.
most part, a 4x4 will do it.
Yes, yeah. Most part, 4x4 is going to be good to go. And you can get those that do 4K, 4K 60 hertz, 4K HDR. So you can get really high bandwidth versions. But then the other issue you're going to have is the actual distribution from the matrix out to your TVs. Um,
So what Michael is referring to, the matrix switcher is just the switcher part. So all of your sources go into that first, and then
mhm.
that source that switcher then can be used can switch that source to any one or any multiple TVs at the same time. So
Yep.
once the output comes out, now Michael was about to go into transmitting that output of that video.
Yeah, so Tiffin has installed in every coach that I've seen that they do this type of thing. Actually, I don't know on a 2014. Yours came pre-wired with a transmitter,
It
David?
did.
Okay,
Yep, transmitter auto,
so
AV
Arnie's
transmitter over Cat 5.
Yep. So Arnie should have it as well as my guess. Then, so there are higher quality HDMI switcher or transmitter and receiver pairs that work over that Cat 5, Cat 6 cable. Um, and actually, there are HDMI matrix switches that have that transmitter built into them. So all you have on the back is a bunch of Cat 5 connections, and you plug those cables in, and then you have a receiver that goes out where your TVs are. So there are versions that have that built in. There are other versions that have separate. You'd have to buy the two sets separately. Um,
It all comes down to dollars and cents, basically. You
yep.
can get anything that's easy to use or complicated to use, and uh, again, you can buy them in kits where it comes with a switcher with the transmitters that has the transmitter built in, and then you added the receiver at the other end of the cable. But right now, in your Tiffin, you're running over Ethernet, so basically you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a transceiver, HDMI to Ethernet converter that then on the other side receives it and converts it back
Yep.
to HDMI, which then goes into your television. So basically, in my particular case, I have one. I'm using HDMI one on all of my televisions, and my switcher is responsible for sending whatever signal I want to whatever television I want. But it's always coming out HDMI one on every television.
Yep. Yeah, and I
Anyways,
I actually went to a slightly different way of doing it because I have two TVs that I've upgraded to 4K. My main living room TV is LG OLED. My bedroom TV is 4K HDR LCD. But then the one above my windshield is still the stock Tiffin 1080p camera TV,
eh,
and so is the outside one. It's still the 1080p.
right.
So the thing you run into with the switchers is whatever the lowest quality TV is, that's what the switcher will negotiate everything down to whenever you're watching the same signal on multiple TVs. So for me, I ended up going with a different setup. I don't actually have a central source anymore. All of the content that we watch, we actually download and have on a video server inside the coach. All anyway, we won't get into those details. But I use an NVIDIA Shield TV on my bedroom TV and my living room TV, and then the other TVs I use Chromecast. So I can get whatever
And
output I want to them, but it's
yeah,
not centralized switcher like what David's using and Arnie, what you would be using.
and quite literally, I'm also using the Shield, but I'm using it through my switcher. So I have my Shield, which is going to each TV, and
Mm-hmm.
then because Brendan and I, you always watch TV together. Usually, we don't usually separate. So in regards to television shows, so I got my Shield going through the switcher, and then I got our Dish Network receiver going through a different input on the switcher. So we can switch any television to either be our Shield, which is our internet streaming box. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so all of our internet, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever, it's all through the Shield TV, which is an Android platform. And then I also have, which Michael doesn't use, I also have Dish Network. So I do have the two switching.
Yep.
So
So let's
it
see.
all depends on what your needs are.
I repair
But
HDMI
but the key
converters and new
is to
switches.
look up on Amazon or look up Matrix Switch, HDMI Matrix Switch, and that'll get you
Yep.
started.
Yep. So
Okay.
let's see.
Anyways,
Jeffrey said he repaired their HDMI converters with new switches and power connections. Yeah, the power bricks and power input on those HDMI converters from Tiffin or from what was it, Triple
H,
S? Triple H,
Triple
thank you.
H.
That was their weak point. So
Yeah.
if you're handy enough to repair those, then yeah, you're going to be in a lot better shape.
Usually it's the power, the AC adapter goes out on those,
Yep.
or if it's not the AC adapter, the actual unit overheats. Because quite
Yes.
literally, as I showed the Tiffins earlier on, those devices, when I looked at the specs on those, were only rated for 120 degrees Fahrenheit, but I showed them a reading of 106 degrees that they were actually getting up to because they were inside the little cabinet.
Yep.
So they
With
were
low
literally
ventilation.
burning up,
Oh
literally
yeah.
burning up.
So we have another question. Hector Rodriguez is asking, David, how's your Tesla working out for you guys?
Oh, our Tesla is actually working out great. It is we're so glad we made the decision to do that. Our Tesla Model X, which we got on December 16th, um, has been working out great. Our trailer has been working out great. Our Luma 18-foot tilt trailer has been working great to tow it, and hooking it up with EV for RV, which is a product that source code and stuff that Michael came up with. Has been working out flawlessly. So right now, our Tesla is charging off of the same 50 amp breaker as our motor coach is, and all that information is available on evforrv.net.
Org, I think. Hang on.
Org.
EV for RV.
Org. But it's all
.org.
open source.
It is .org.
The whole
Yep.
thing is open source. So if you actually have an EV vehicle of any sort, you can actually use it with your motor coach using EV for RV, and it's all open source. We make no money from it.
Yep. We're just here to enable electric vehicles for RVers.
Yep.
And
No.
Hector, my Tesla Model X is working out great as well.
Yes. Especially since it's had it upgraded.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. I talked about that on our last live drive on the Turtle Herding YouTube channel. But yeah, so my Model X was a 2017, so it had version 2 autopilot or version 2 autopilot hardware. And since I paid for the full self-driving in the very beginning, that included a free upgrade to autopilot hardware version 3. So when we were in Kalispell, Montana, I drove out to Spokane, Washington, which was the closest Tesla service center, and they upgraded it for me. And while I was there, I went ahead and paid the extra money to upgrade the center touchscreen computer, what they call the MCU, or main control unit, I think is what that stands for, from MCU 1 to MCU 2. So now I have a much more responsive touchscreen. I have drastically improved autopilot hardware, and I get all the same features that David's Model X does, which is much newer than mine. So I get all the entertainment stuff. So when I'm supercharging, I can watch YouTube or Netflix. The maps and everything update way quicker. It's a very worthwhile upgrade. So Hector,
yeah.
sorry, Hector just said he didn't know I had one as well. First time he's seen me. Yeah, I'm the guy that actually influenced David to buy one.
Yes, it took a while. Now understood it took a while only because when Michael first bought his first Tesla, I told him he was nuts because he's going to have a hard time charging it in any RV park, which he found out to be true, and thus the advent of EV for RV sometime later. And then since he came up with EV for RV, the software code that does this and this procedure, again, all open source, we make nothing from it. And I finally said to Brenda, I said, hey, there's not, I mean, we've always talked about flat towing. Flat towing is the way to go for most RVers with a motor coach. It's the easiest, most simplest method of bringing a vehicle with you. However, we can't do that with a Tesla. Not that you couldn't, it's not recommended, except that one of the big issues with the Tesla, especially the Model X or any EV vehicle for that matter, is the batteries. They're so heavy. And so we only get about 20,000 miles out of a set of tires. So if you consider we usually cross the country back and forth, that's 4,400 miles in 1 year just dragging the car behind us. So that's just, to us, didn't make any sense. So we ended up becoming trailer people, but we ended up using a tilt trailer, an aluminum tilt trailer weighing 1,500 pounds, which is very simple to load and unload. And because of our lifestyle change and how we don't go to place, we now go to a place, stay a number of months, then go to somewhere else, stay a number of months. It's not so much of an issue dealing with a trailer. So anyways, there's the story.
So and actually there's no electric vehicle that can be flat towed. So they actually not only don't recommend it, it'll void your warranty.
They don't recommend it. Yeah, but we have seen videos and we have seen posts that people can flat towed them. it's just not something that surely is. The manual says not to, obviously. And I'm not
Yep.
promoting flat towing a vehicle by any stretch of imagination. Not to mention, you look underneath the Tesla, there's nothing to attach for
Yeah.
the plate.
Yep. So let's see. We have Hector ask, "Do we have a YouTube channel?" Yes, Turtle Herding. My wife mentioned that just after that comment, and it's
Yeah.
actually, if you click the link that's right there in the under our names, you can get to our YouTube channel from there as well. If you click on our coach up at the top, there's a link to our playlist for the build and all kinds of fun stuff. So. Robert asked, how does car insurance work when you're traveling so often but not using it? So we actually do use our cars.
Yeah, they're used all the time. It's
Yeah.
just like
So we,
we live in our motor coaches.
yeah. David and I both full time, which means that we live in our motor coaches and travel the country. We don't have a sticks and bricks house. We don't really have a base camp or a home base. David frequents Southwoods, so he kind of has a special setup there. And we frequent Las Vegas Motor Coach Resort, which we did own a site here, but we sold recently. And but we do travel all the time, but we bring our Teslas with us. And so when we get to our so when we get to our stops, we unload the Teslas. David off of his flat trailer, me out of my enclosed car hauler, and those are our daily drivers. So we do use them all the time.
They're used all the time. So insurance wise, it's going to be just like any car. I mean, that you would have. I mean, just because you're going cross country with it in different states doesn't mean anything. You still have insurance on the car, regardless of how you're getting it there and using the vehicle. So yeah.
Do you think Tiffin will have a phone app in the future? So Daryl. Sorry, we laugh because not at you at all. We laugh.
How many years ago?
Yeah. So I created a product called Coach Proxy that allows you to control your Tiffin motorhome from any web browser, including your phone. I ended up selling the company to another gentleman, but there David's showing. So you can control the lights. You can control on newer versions. You can control the heating and cooling, the vents, the heated floors, all kinds of stuff. So while Tiffin may not directly themselves ever have a phone app, I kind of think they will. But
well, they will. They'll have to. I mean, they're just like any other RV manufacturer. They're so far behind because the engineering process of an RV. They have to design the RV. They have to design the products that are going to around the products that are going to go in the RV, and then the products that are available at the time. Well, the problem with technology is it moves so fast, and when you engineer, it takes a couple of years to engineer a motor coach, and the technology that you have then is not the same technology that's available when motor coaches actually started to be manufactured. In fact, to that end, Tiffin ran out of Panasonic televisions, which their RVs were spec'd around, and the dimensions of the televisions and everything. And Panasonic stopped selling flat panel TVs. Well, Tiffin had to quickly adjust for that because they no longer had. They bought all the Panasonic TVs they possibly could because their RVs were spec'd size-wise, like for the front and for the front over the window and everything for that platform. So technology changes in an RV is really difficult for manufacturers. Now, the good news is they're working with Spider System, and they're progressive. They're very ahead of the schedule and timing, but they also don't. I mean, not that they couldn't, because obviously we've proven that they could. We tap into this CAN bus system of the Spider System. Spider System runs on CAN bus, and so basically we just read that, and so it's easy to do. And why they won't do it, we're unsure. And will they have an app someday? Probably. When? We're surprised they don't by this time. Because why? Because Michael, and it was released years ago.
Yep.
Anyway, I mean, I think what we were doing, we were selling them for $400 a piece or something like that. I mean, cheap.
Yeah. And we still, to my knowledge, are one of the only people who do voice control of coaches.
Yes.
So
we can.
I'm going to mute my mic here for the keyword just so it doesn't trip anybody up. But check this out. Yeah. Hey turn on the passenger slide lights.
Ta-da!
Hey, Google, turn off the passenger slide lights. So, not only
Not
can you control it
only
from your
that,
phone,
we can control our thermostats from our voice too. So
yeah,
we can actually change from heating mode to cooling mode. We can set the temperature via our voice, and because we did a whole video on installing a smart thermostat. So
yep,
yeah, Michael and I have a little bit of history together, and when it comes to
oh
motor
yeah,
coaching and fun stuff like this.
yep, and yeah.
By the
So
way, by the way, by the way, hang on. Coach Proxy is now also an open source product.
yes, yeah. So it went open source about a year and a half ago, I think.
I think
So if you have a 2014 or newer Tiffin up to 2020, I don't think anything newer than that is supported as of yet. Um, but anything in there, you can build a Coach Proxy device yourself, or if you jump on Facebook, there's a Coach Proxy Facebook group, and there's a gentleman in there. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he
he's
is
built.
making them for people who don't want to make them themselves, and selling them at basically his cost. So I would recommend you go that route if you don't want to build one yourself. But you too can have a Coach Proxy and control your coach from your phone. So, and if you're handy with technology and electronics, maybe you can add support for 2021 if you end up with one of those.
Somebody asked, do we have Kevin asked, do we have a hard time issue finding a place to stow our trailers?
Mm. Um,
That varies.
yeah, it varies. For us, my
I
wife
don't.
does a lot of research ahead of time if we're going someplace new. So,
And us for issue, like we'll call in advance, of course, and we'll check places out. Like we're going to be heading to from here. We're going to be going to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, at some point, and we already made arrangements for a site that would fit us with our trailer. At that location, and so it's just calling around. But for the most part, if you don't fit with your trailer in a long pull through or something like that, most places have a storage slot where you basically can stow the trailer, because
mhm.
we're not alone in this. We're not the only ones that use trailers. um, so it's usually not an issue. It could be in some state parks or something like that, it might be an issue, but for the most part, it's just you have to know where you're going and call ahead and do a little bit of research sometimes. But the way we travel right now, our lifestyle is we're here at Southwoods RV Resort for 6 months. So we're here April to October. So we just put it in the storage lot and leave it there. And it's a flatbed trailer. It just sits there and waits for us. And then when we go to other places, like when we go to uh, Burleson, Texas, the trailer sits right there. The sites are wide enough. This trailer can stay with us, unhooked from the motor coach and parked right next to us, because it's a two-site parking lot, or
Yep.
two-car parking site. So we put the trailer in one parking space and our car in the other. So in any case, it all depends.
Yep. It can be troublesome. It will limit likely the number of RV parks that you can get into, unless you want to drop the trailer and store it off site someplace. That's always a possibility as well. It's just up to what level of frustration and how convenient you want it to be. We really, we always try to keep it stored on site at a minimum, if not on the actual site with the coach, but at least in the RV park. So, but again, Lenan, my wife, she does all that research ahead of time, calls ahead, and makes sure that it's something we can do.
Jeffrey, you said the engineer never called you about upgrading to an earlier model 45. You're upgrading
Yeah.
to 2014. They can't do that. There's nothing to upgrade. You can't really do
Well,
that without rewiring.
right. Yeah, Jeff. I think Jeffrey was the one that we talked to in our live chat, in our live drive last time. Um,
Okay.
he had someone that had worked for Tiffin, I think it was, that now has a separate business, and they were talking about rewiring and upgrading. Um, that's not a small endeavor.
Oh
It,
gosh, no.
yeah. So the 2014 45 LP does have the spider system. While it is
Which we
older,
have.
yeah, David has. He's added a couple of things to it, like the tank monitor and the battery voltage monitor. But aside from that, everything else is stock on his Spider system,
Yeah.
and Coach Proxy does work with that.
But see, the issue being with the Spider system is like, for example, you can't just plug in the new advanced version of it because the wiring and everything is could be slightly different on how things are connected up. For example, mine and in yours, the Spider system is in our cargo bay, our rear cargo bay, mid cargo bay, if you will. The last door of the pull out tray area is where it's located. And the newer ones, they're up front underneath the driver's seat.
Yeah, and actually
So
I have the one David, the 2014s, and I think the 2015s, like David said, it's mid bay, mid coach in the bay.
mid coach, yeah,
The 2016s and newer have two, one in the rear closet, at least for the 45 OP, and then one under the front driver's seat. And then the newer ones still have a third one back in the bay, and that one's the one that controls all the heating and cooling stuff. But yeah, so there's a lot of variants, a lot of rewiring that would have to be done. Not a small feat.
Robert asks what other he mentioned that in my last video I talk about keeping a couple spares of the blower motors in the AC. He's wondering what else that you or I might carry with us as spare parts, just in
Water
case
pump?
kind of thing.
Yeah, I carry a water pump because we run off of our fresh tank 100% of the time. So if the water pump goes out, then I need to be able to switch that so we can maintain water.
And we do the same for various reasons. We carry an extra water
Yep.
pump to quickly replace the one that we have because if you lose your water pump and well, even if you don't use it all the time and you use park water, when you're traveling, you're going to have to use your water pump. So you want to carry one of those with you just
Yep.
in case. They're not expensive to carry and they're pretty easy to replace.
Yeah.
Um,
Carry a spare belt for the main
belt,
drive belt
I was
around
going
the
to say the
engine.
main. I was going to say the same thing, Jinx.
Because they're hard to find. So if you shred one going down the highway, there's very little chance that you're actually going to get somebody to be able to come out and deliver one to you.
Yeah, make sure you carry one of those.
Yep. What else? I carry a boatload of tools just because that's who I am, and wire and electronics and other random components.
Yeah, you got to have make sure you have crimps, make sure you have things like that because you never
Yep.
know the wiring in the coaches sometimes get loose, the crimps even,
Yep.
believe it or not. So having a good crimp tool and things like that is very important. Um,
So I got to ask to do a shout out to my
okay.
mom and stepdad. Hi, Mom and Mr. B. How are you guys? Sorry. It's like being on TV. I'm on TV.
Hey, Michael, Hector wonders, since we both live in 45-foot motor coaches, could we live in smaller ones? We probably could, but I don't know if we'd want to.
Right. Yeah. That's actually a dream of my wife. She would prefer that we were in a smaller space just because it lets us get into more spaces, more RV parks.
Yeah.
But
We did a whole video on that. We did a whole video on is a 40+ foot motor coach too big. Brendan and I did a talk on that, and we have not found it to be a major issue in our opinion. We the places we visit and what have you, it hasn't been a big deal to us. We've never ran into
Yeah.
we've never not been able to go to a place we wanted to go to because
Correct.
we have a 45-foot motor coach.
Yep.
That's just us.
Yeah. Kevin asked, do we have trailer hitches on the Teslas, or do we move the trailer with the coach? The Model X does have a trailer hitch, so that's what we use if we need to relocate the trailer within a campground.
Yep.
Way easier than trying to park it with a coach. I mean, depending on the site, you could do it, but it's way easier with the Tesla. Way
Yeah,
more
and it's
maneuverable.
quick and easy to hook up to. The Tesla made it really easy. Basically, the hitch, you open up a panel on the bottom of the Tesla, the hitch goes up and locks into place, and you're at it. And you basically
Yep.
have a 2-inch receiver ready to go. So it couldn't be easier to do. And then you can just move the trailer wherever you need to move it. Now, on my trailer only weighs 1,500 pounds, and so we have a marine wheel on the front. I physically can move our trailer around. So if it's close by, I can literally roll it.
Yeah.
Michael's
Mine not
trailer,
so much.
unfortunately, would be a lot heavier, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm
I
about
have-
4,500 pounds.
I actually haven't had to use my hitch on my Tesla yet, though it's easily done.
Yep.
Good
And I've
question.
used mine frequently. Yep. Uh,
Where do I put my
why?
trailer at Southwoods? There's a storage lot at the front of the park that's where people store RVs they're not currently using or trailers, and so we just store it in that storage lot.
Let's see. We have someone. Kevin asked, curious why we only use our freshwater tanks and not park water.
That'll be our next
That's
talk.
that's our next talk. Yes.
That was
We
very
don't
good,
want to give
Mitchell.
too much away.
Yeah, because we're not sure when we're going to do that yet. This whole thing is a test after all.
Yep. It might be very soon.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, this is working out pretty well, is it not, guys?
Yeah.
Let us know.
I think
Let us
so.
know if you like this format of two techies doing a tech talk and what have you. And oh, by the way, we can do this too. We've been practicing this. Oh yeah, high five. Oh wait, oh no, what's not working? I'm going too far again. Oh, and my hand's too much bigger than yours. I gotta go back here. Okay, now high five. Yay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, not too long, Michael. What?
Oh, wrong way. Sorry.
Stop. If we touch too long, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
And my camera I'm using my MacBook camera, so it looks like I'm leaning back. It's because I'm so far away from my computer, because if I sit like I normally would, it's like this, and that's just the Mac. And so I'm trying to equal Michael because he's got a 1080p camera, and I ordered a new camera. So by the way, for those of you, the color differences, yes, this is because this is my MacBook camera. The lighting could be different. Michael's using a different camera than I. So yes, I look a lot warmer than Michael does. But anyways, I ordered a camera. It'll be in next week. We'll try that and see what happens.
Linan said we should call this Tiny Home Tech Talks by TurttleBubbles.
Tiny home tech talk.
By TurttleBubbles.
That's funny. So in any case, I hope this is working out well for you guys. Like I said, we started off this morning testing things, and we just decided to go live with our test
Why not?
after we got it working. So we hope this is working out. We hope we answered some of your questions for you, and that we hope you'll join us in the future. We'll I don't know if we can dual stream on Turtle Turning, and I don't think we can broadcast to two different stream channels at the same time. So,
I can. Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do. We're probably going to end up using this channel outside our bubble only because we have a larger
bigger
audience at the time. We're trying to build up Michael and Luann's, and at that point we'll start using that or whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yep. Yeah. There is software that would allow me to broadcast to both at the same time, so that might be an option for the future. But the other thing becomes problematic, while we're here in Las Vegas, we have good bandwidth, but when we're out on the road, we may not. So we may be limited to a single stream only because of bandwidth constraints. Oh, unless I can actually put the thing that sends out to multiple streams on my server out on the internet, then I can stream to the server, and the server can send to multiple places. We'll work on it. We'll get geeky on that.
Scott says maybe a business opportunity, the Tiffin Bott / Kid Edition. Don't laugh too much. I've already submitted. Brendan and I have submitted plans a couple years back to the Tiffins that they're actually looking over in regards to a bus. To put it this way, the Bott / Kid Edition of a Tiffin would blow their minds away because they wouldn't quite understand the technology that we would want in.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't be able to support what Michael and I would want. So that's why our coaches are unique compared to any other coaches, including right now, even from what I understand, Prevost's and Newell's and stuff like that, because we can talk to our coaches and do things they can't even do. So Tiffin totally lost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I even gave Tim Tiffin one of the Coach Proxy, the very early version of it, and it never came online. So I think it's one of those things where they're busy with the stuff they know, and unless you're there reminding them and actually pushing them into the new technology, it's just not going to get picked up so quickly.
That's the thing.
Jeffrey asked, do we insulate our cabinets? Yes, I do.
Yes. Oh, yes. I did a whole video post on that. In fact, Brenda, if you can look it up, Brenda's actually here now. Look up the outsidebubble.com on insulation and just post that in the feed. Actually, you won't be able to post it, I don't think. I don't think you have
Oh, she's not. Here, hang
She's
on.
an
Maybe I can
admin.
make her a moderator. Oh, nope. I don't have
Can I
that power.
moderator on my end? Let's see. Trying to look for her. A post from Brenda.
She just posted the most recent one.
Oh, okay. Oh, there she is. I'll make her a moderator real quick.
Real quick, I don't get to stay.
You can stay a moderator, yes, love. I didn't mean that. You're now a moderator, so you can post a link. Just so you know, in regards to going back to the question of have we insulated our cabinets? Yes, we both have. I did it a long time ago and did a video, or we did a blog post on it and a video. And Brenda's
2014.
back right when we got our coach in 2014.
Yeah.
We did it right away. It's such a dramatic difference, and you'll see that in the blog post and the video. So Brenda just posted a link to that. Yeah, I think she did at least. I don't see it. That's weird.
It should be coming through soon, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It takes time for that delay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And Robert, sorry, we keep getting more questions, so
Sorry.
I got nothing but time, unless something blows up at work. Okay, so Robert Rodriguez asked, if we sell our RV, are we worried about new owners not knowing how to manage the custom tech? Yes.
That's funny he asked that question because we were just talking about that today.
Yep.
We actually were. We were talking about that going, God, could we really ever sell these RVs because the people wouldn't understand the tech that's in them? And if they had issues, what would they do? And Mike was like, well, there's no RV that has the tech we do. So, we're so far ahead of the game as it is. Why would we change RVs?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've gone so far as I've actually revamped the entire electrical system in ours. I put in Tesla battery modules and loads of solar and big inverters, and I mean,
he would never get the money back on his coach. Trust me.
No. And we did entertain last year actually trading for a newer coach, but opted to just do a little more upgrade on our current coach to get the stuff we wanted. With the big thing being the ability to control the air conditioners through an app or anything, because the stock air conditioner thermostat is just horrible. So yeah, we just did more upgrades and saved a boatload of money on a new coach.
Cool. Kevin says, David, if I could stick with the 720, that would be better on bandwidth. Actually, the camera that I ordered is got a different codec in it, and it allowed me to actually broadcast higher definition video at 1080p at a lower band rate than actually 720p requires. So it's all that comes down to the compression and the codec that's being used by the camera. So
yeah, we should be good to go once.
We should be good to go. But thank you for your concern on the bandwidth.
John is guessing that our water project that we're going to be talking about is a swimming pool inside the RV. Not quite.
No, that's carrying too much water, but it would be fun.
Yeah.
It's actually a hot tub. I mean,
don't
give it away.
Sauna. No mas pantalones.
There were RVs that actually had saunas in them, Michael. I couldn't believe it.
We were looking at one. Yeah, we were looking at one. Kevin asked if we're able to run the ACs with our solar panels. So that's a common misconception. So solar panels can't directly run the air conditioners. I lost your audio, David.
It's okay. You're back. I'm back.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So what we did is I installed a large bank of batteries and then two 4,000 watt inverters. So technically the batteries run the air conditioners through the inverter, and then the solar helps charge the batteries. But you're not going to get enough solar on your roof to make up for large loads like that. It just depends on your usage patterns and everything. For us, when we're driving down the road, we can run the whole coach and 2 out of 3 air conditioners, at least on this last trip, for about 4.5 hours. Then our generator will start for 2.5 hours to recharge the batteries and get them topped back up, and then kick back off, and then we can run again for another 4.5 hours. So it's much more efficient use of the generator because they quickly charge the lithium-ion batteries, and then the solar helps offset and extend that runtime a little bit. But again, you're just not going to get enough solar on the roof of a coach to give you full-time off-grid or air conditioner operation. Let's see. Yeah, Lenan is sharing some of our modifications.
Great.
David and I both have build highlight videos if you want to see how these coaches go together at Tiffin's factory. David's is more time lapse and mine's more snippet based. John says he loves the two of us together like this. Thanks, John.
Well, great. I love you too, Michael. I mean, John. I mean,
John.
Oh
boy.
And then we got our two co-producers, Brenda and Leanne, online with us.
Yep.
Kind of supplementing what we're doing here. But anyways, this was just a test, guys. And the test actually seems successful. We're an hour into it now, so we're gonna. I think we call it quits on this test.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Long test.
Yeah.
I think it worked, right? It worked.
Absolutely, yeah.
From everybody, yes. Give us likes, please.
Yep.
And if you're new to us, then Michael and I are looking to probably do some more tech talks and whatever together. And we do have one already planned. And we're going to be doing that soon. And then we have no idea what we're going to do after that. So
yep. I'm sure we'll find something though.
Yeah, it gives us. It gives me something to concentrate on, and I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna get a different camera here to try to match Michael's, his glow and his appearance. But in any case, so we hope you enjoyed this this segment of Come Test with Us.
Yep.
And if you guys are good, then we're good. We're gonna end this conversation at this point. What do you think, Michael?
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for chatting along, and gosh, an hour.
Yeah, time goes by really quick like this. I'm David Bott from OutsiderBubble.com.
And I'm Michael from TurtleHerding.com. Kevin, we're Turtle Herding. You can find our OutsiderTurtleHerdingBubble.com. Yeah.
Yeah, see, we still can't get that in sync. But
Oh, well. Well, we have Kevin just asking.
Wait. Now, wait. Brenda's correcting me. We're now, because of Leanne, we're now just Turtle Bubbles.
I'm seeing if that's available.
He's checking the domain to see if the domain's available. TurtleBubbles.com.
Might be.
Come on, are we not just like the geekiest people you've ever met? Come on, guys. From Wi-Fi to Teslas to 4G or 4G connectivity and what have you, to being able to talk to our motor coaches. Yeah, we're kind of different, and I hope you enjoy our little shows that we're going to come up with.
Yep. I'm buying TurtleBubbles.com right now.
Hey, are you really? Gotta
Yep.
love it. Good. So yeah, we're going to be now known as Turtle Bubbles. People are going to be like, "What the hell's Turtle Bubbles?" Sounds like a little.
Turtle farts.
Little farts coming out.
Get outside your turtle fart today.
Oh gosh. Any case,
Okay.
we're gonna come to you
I
with
own it.
more RV related videos. We're gonna do
Yes.
RV tech talks, things like that, and whatever else might come to mind. We have no idea. We have no freaking clue. But it's gonna give us something to do and burn some of our time and hopefully brighten your day in some way, shape, or form. So once again, I'm David.
I'm Michael.
And we're now TurtleBubbles.
TurtleBubbles.com. Yeah.
Hey guys, take care, keep safe. We're gonna go offline. See ya.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. I gotta now click end stream.
Yes.
Bye.